And that was the lesson I learned in this because I'm a guitar player. So you always write the song. You're like, oh, I wrote this song, and however you want to do it. And then you get to where we are at this point, where there's so many people involved that it's not just you and your song. It's not just one person. It's the team that actually makes all of this come to life at the end of the day. And I'm just so proud to have worked with all of these people on this.
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy at GhostCultMag.com. I am super stoked to be talking to Austin from the rock band Back from Zero today. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, man, very excited about all the things you have going on. So much to talk about. But first things first, let's unpack the history of the band a little bit. I always like to start with a new interview that's new to me and new to our fans to hear a little bit about your backstory. How did you get into playing music, and then how did this band begin?
Wow, that's a long journey. I've been doing it for many a years. And I started playing guitar when I was, I think like 8 years old or 12 years old, somewhere like really young age. And funny thing about playing the guitar, my very first lesson that I played, I actually cried trying to hit the note because it was like so tender for my finger. But then fast forward many years, and here we are, we're back from zero. And I played music through high school and all that. I've been in 1,000 bands, just like most guitar players have been. And I love every minute of it. I mean, there's ups, there's downs, there's times you hate it, you wish you never learned, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it's the greatest thing I've ever done is play music. So here we are, we're back from zero. And I've been with these guys now for about 12 years. And the cool thing is, here's how the whole thing came together with Back from Zero. I had a project that I was trying to get off the ground. I was like completely solo. I was just trying to still find musicians. And then at one point in my life, I found this woman who she found me, vice versa, however you want to put it. And one thing led to another. And the funny thing was, she's like, hey, she's like, my son happens to be a singer. Would you want to jam with him and see where anything goes? So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's check it out. So lo and behold, it worked out really well. And he had a friend who's actually in our studio right now in the other room, Eric, who's a drummer. And he came on board, and we literally, I mean, it seems like, we got a lot of things going on right now, which is cool, but we started in Eric's basement rehearsing twice a week in his very small, very dungeon-like basement twice a week on a little 12-inch amp and everything else. And, here we are putting out videos. So that's like, in a nutshell, kind of what happened. But that's how I met these guys. It was actually, funny enough, all through my girlfriend.
Nice. Being from New York myself, historically, I know there are no such things. We rehearsed in his giant basement is no such a sentence has ever been uttered by anybody, especially in the five boroughs. I'm from the Bronx.
No.
I lived in Brooklyn for a long time, for 5 years before I moved out here when I came back. But I was in the Bronx for like 33 years. And it's the same thing. We rehearsed in my guitar player's basement. We had like half a basement for a band. We made it work. Drop ceiling, not the best acoustics, but you make it work. What a killer band. So far, it seems like there's a lot of depth and fun to the band, which I really love. And we'll talk about the Taking Back the Night video in a second. Everybody, it's funny. I was listening to some of your stuff on Spotify, and then the next music that came on was all like G&R, Down, Black Label Society. So it's like, Spotify's like, if you like this, well, here's some other stuff you probably already like and listen to. I think there was some Alice in Chains in there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun to get like what's relatable, right? And
that's
obviously you said you played in 1,000 bands and probably different kinds of bands, right? But like,
I did. I played in different types. Yeah,
hard rock is kind of the universal rock love language, right? So like, I could see why that's the thing for you.
I would agree to that. Hard rock is definitely, in my opinion, my favorite type of rock and roll. Yeah, no, there's nothing like a hard driving, just like what I would call like a dirty rock band. You know what I mean? Just a down home, really just grinding it out rock and roll band. Absolutely. So then the bands you mentioned are very much on par with all the influences I've had over the years. I mean, I see you wearing a shirt I don't know if it is a Guns N' Roses shirt, but it resembles one. And it's funny, I almost wore an Appetite for Destruction shirt for the interview. I ended up with Bigfoot. I went with Bigfoot, but I almost went with Guns N' Roses. And they were a huge influence on just everything that we did. All the bands you mentioned, Alice in Chains, another huge influence. That whole Seattle scene in general was a huge influence on just everything we've done, that I've done anyway, personally. Yeah, but no, I've been in a lot of different bands, a lot of different types of music. One of my favorite bands is the Black Crowes. of all time. I absolutely love those guys. Rich Robinson is a huge influence, to say the least. And at one point, I was in a band many, many years ago, and that was the style that we were doing. You know what I mean? We were doing more the Southern rock style. So yeah, it varies. You know.
Right on. It's not an actual Guns N' Roses shirt. It's like a spoof shirt from a brand called Meth Syndicate that I like a lot. They make funny, it looks like one thing, but it's another. It actually says
Right.
Seal, Kiss from a Rose, but it's the Guns N' Roses logo, right?
That's great.
So it's
That's
funny.
great.
There's a few of those. People have seen me wear their shirts. I love the Black Crowes. I actually never thought they would reunite. I thought the brothers absolutely hated each other and they would never be able to get like even be friends, let alone make a whole. Their new album's awesome. I actually really love it.
I have it in my phone. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm gonna do that over the week. I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And I got to see them live actually a year and a half ago, for the first time since like the '90s, and they were so good. I had
great.
just missed them with all the things, and I remember seeing them back in the day. I was like, they were so good at what they do, and they were so good and dialed in now. So it's nice. It's nice to have them back.
It's funny. The Black Crowes, out of every band I've ever seen live, they're the band I've seen the most times live. I love going to a Black Crowes. By all means, I've probably seen them like close to 20 times. I've been following them since they first originally came out with Shake Your Moneymaker. Whatever year that was, I think that was 91 if I'm not mistaken. But since then, man, I mean, I've never put them down. They're a great rock and roll band. I just love them.
Right on. I'm pretty sure Chris thought that he was going to be like a humongous solo star, right? Like be like a Steven Tyler and be able to have a career out. I think he thought that he would be like, I don't need my brother or the band, and I can also do this. But it's nice to have them back. I know there was the bigger a band gets, there's sometimes some drama. So it's cool that it's cool that we can have some of these legacy bands come back to our lives. But let's talk about Back from Zero, man. I love the Taking Back the Night video and track. First of all, the song is a banger, right? It's a ripper.
Thank you.
It's like a super, reminding me of like early AC/DC, a lot of Boogie or ZZ Top, like very aggressive rock. And then the video is hilarious. I was back in New York. I was back in New York last year, and I didn't get to go to Coney Island, but I got to go to Coney Island with your video, which was great.
Great.
And if anybody is a fan of the Warriors movie, which I of course am, it's kind of a nod to the Warriors, which was hilarious. And I think you guys all played the different tribes.
Yeah, we played every gang in the video. Yeah. And it definitely is a nod to the Warriors for sure.
Much fun. But, and the song, like the song's killer, and then the video just amplifies the power of the song for me.
Thank you so much, man. It's amazing to hear a compliment that anybody likes what I do. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. No, it's always great. It's like, wow, somebody's digging what we're doing. That's so cool, you know. And the video, actually, funny enough, came to being because me and my drummer Eric were thinking about. We were like, oh, we got to come up with a video. So he had come up originally with, let's just play on a train, just like New York City. Let's just play on a train. All of us jamming on a train. And we were like, all right, that's really cool. And then we both got thinking, and I said to him, I said, wait a minute, the train. I said, it'd be cool. He's like, what? And I said, how about a Warriors themed video? And he's like, yeah. And then it just went from there. We wrote the video and the script and everything. Actually, no, we originally had an idea for the video, and then it changed once we got somebody who was able to film it and make it happen. The director, Jerry Farley. Once we got him on board, he was like, all right, I'm doing this with it, and you guys are going to follow. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So it was great.
That's awesome. Shout out to Jerry, and anybody looking to work with Jerry will find a link to his stuff here and add it to the link with your stuff in the description, because he did a phenomenal job and just, again, captured the personality of the guys, captured the personality of the song, captured the personality of Brooklyn. Coney Island is iconic, the Wonder Wheel and everything.
Oh, yeah,
and just the spire was used in every, all the type of negative photos and things like that. Yeah, I don't know if you were a big 90s metal guy in New York City, but that was like my time, late 80s, early 90s for metal and rock.
Definitely.
And it was such a good time, and such a good time to be in bands in the city and kind of be a local band, because there was a lot of label activity in New York City, and there was a lot of bands. Like, you felt like I saw Life of Agony and Typo Negative, and I was like, maybe I can do that. Look at those guys are from almost where I'm from, like the same neighborhoods almost, like the same kind of dudes, same kind of people. So I was like, maybe I can do that. I don't know.
No, those guys actually, I've met Minna a few times. Minna Caputo. I met them a few times rather. And they were friends with somebody that I knew from the neighborhood, Rob. and we actually bonded over family stuff and stuff like that. And so I actually played L'Amour's a bunch of times back in the day with a band called The Other Side, and we all sprouted from L'Amour. So that's how I actually know everybody from back in the day. Because like Typo Negative, we knew of them and we played different shows on different weekends, but like everybody didn't know each other back then. So it was just kind of like a big community. I wasn't in their circles, but like we all knew each other from the area and the club, and we all did different shows on different weekends. So we all knew of each other at the very least.
Nice. I only got to go to L'Amour twice and never played there, but I played CB's and everywhere else, so that's cool. Good enough for me. I got to go at least and see other bands play there before they were gone.
Yeah.
And then I really like after that I got to do all the things. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's and then so the next single, because you have so the album is coming out, by the way, 5 is coming out at the end of April as we record this now. And it's shaping up to be, you know, just awesome. And I really so the new single, I got to hear it early and see the video early, thanks to the management there for trusting me and letting me, you know, get prepared for this interview with the material. And
thank you for watching.
Yeah, of course. So we'll talk about the song first. The song's it's a little more sensitive. It's a little more sensitive. Okay. But I dig it. We also, you know, I mean, like our reputation here is that we do metal, right? But we also cover a lot of other things that are not metal. And I personally love a lot of singer-songwriter stuff. You know, I fancy myself as I wanted to do that for a long time and play some guitar badly, and I could fart out a song. But like, I'm really into like, you know, I think it's a lot of bands can rock the fuck out, right? But like, I think to be able to make like a very deep, meaningful song and not go hard the whole way is a skill that not everybody has. So I really like this song. Dean is the singer, right? Great voice.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Fantastic, which really touching lyrics. I don't know if it's Dean or collectively the lyrics.
I actually wrote the lyrics.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good song.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a very personal song. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell. It feels personal. Yeah. Like it feels like it means something, which is always better, because if you can make something that if you're connecting to me, somebody else out there listening will get it too.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And we definitely hope that song in particular resonates and like clicks with people. We really do hope people can feel it and relate to it, you know? So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the kind words on the song. I appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you. I go from the heart. So whatever, you know, I don't gush about things I don't really care about and enjoy. And I can do an interview and not be, you know, I also don't have to be a dick. There's definitely a lot of things I don't like. And even friends of mine, by the way, people all the time are like, you must support every band your friends have. No, I don't, because sometimes they're not good. They're not good enough.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah.
But sometimes I do. And then I got to see the video, which is really another cool one. So let's talk a little bit about that video.
Sure. What would you like to know? By all means.
Just in general, like obviously people are going to see this interview following the video. We'll link the video also so they'll be able to go watch it after. But also like just tell us a little bit. Did you want the video to kind of tell the story of the song?
Yes. Now, so the whole way it went down was we knew we had to write a video for the song. So me and my drummer Eric, we got together and we wrote the script for the song. So it's based on true events by all means. Like there's a lot of personal things that I put in the video, but it's definitely I wouldn't say, no, it's basically a fictitious story, kind of, sort of, but it still tells the story at the same time, if that makes sense. Like there may be different, like the events have changed and certain things, but nevertheless, it's still the same. The meaning is still there. Like everything the video is trying to convey, that's true. Just different events happen necessarily, but the conveyance is the same. John LaMacchia from Candiria directed it, and Michael McAvoy from Candiria actually starred in it. He was the main character of it. And I've become good friends with these guys. They're absolutely fantastic. It's because of John LaMacchia that we got everything done that we got done. So he became our manager about a year ago, and man, what a great dude, man. I can't say enough good things about him. And John reached out, and me and Eric wrote this script, and we told John, we're like, this is what we want to do. And he's like, all right. He's like, it's a lot to take on, but I'll do what I can. So he actually made it all happen, and he got Sean from Washed Up Media as a cameraman. And Sean came in, and Sean's like, I love the song. I love the concept. He goes, we could do this. So I was like, all right. So then we had to find an actor, and that's how we found Michael, because John was like, maybe we can get Mike. I said, get Mike. I love Mike. Get Mike to do it. So he's like, all right, cool. And then John found a woman named Jay that I didn't know. John knew her, and he got her to act as the lady in the video. And then we just got to shoot, and we were really lucky. The shoot itself only took 3 days in total to get done, everything, which was really nice. I mean, it took work to make it all happen, but once the ball got rolling, and that's honestly, that's all because of Mary Sin, John's friend Mary. She made everything happen in that regard because she knew, I mean, she had the shot set up, she had the scenes ready to go, she had the bedroom completely disheveled so the right, vibe would get across. She had the right, she had everything together, man. She was awesome. Her and John made this all, I mean, just everybody came together. And it's funny, I've learned this whole video is just like, yeah, I wrote the song and I'm very proud of it. And I'll talk to you about lyrics, whatever you want to know. But without the team that made it actually happen, none of it would have came to fruition. And that was the lesson I learned in this because I'm a guitar player. So you always write the song. You're like, oh, I wrote this song, and however you want to do it. And then you get to where we are at this point, where there's so many people involved that it's not just you and your song. It's not just one person. It's the team that actually makes all of this come to life at the end of the day. And I'm just so proud to have worked with all of these people on this. And yeah, that's kind of how it came about. To answer your question in a long way, I do answer in long ways. I apologize, but there you go.
That's okay. People are tired. I've done thousands of these videos. People are tired of hearing from me. So, like, believe me, I talk enough on these podcasts and videos. But no, it does take a team. Sounds like a real family environment. John is fantastic. Everybody knows we're big fans of his. We've done a lot of stuff with John over the years, and I obviously was a humongous Candaria fan.
They're great.
All eras of the band, and John is so gifted. Just record label artist,
yeah,
solo artist, member of other bands. So really terrific dude. Yeah, man. So like the album's coming out soon. Do you have like some shows lined up? Any other goals you want for this music to get out there?
Absolutely. We do have a show. The only solid show we know of so far right now is Alien Ant Farm on June 9th at St. Vitus. We're opening up for them, which is going to be a really cool show, really cool night. And aside from that, we're still working on some shows to immediately promote the album coming out. We will be on the radio, which is cool too. Somebody that we know through John, a man named Munzie, very great guy, Skateboard Media. He's putting us on the radio apparently. So we're going to be I don't even know where yet, but apparently we're going to be on some radio waves, and I'm really hoping to gain a lot of listeners from that. So that's next. And then, like I said, we got the show. And honestly, we're looking to record again. That's why we're at the studio right now. Me and my drummer, we're getting ready to blend sounds on the amps and stuff, and we're getting some stuff done. But as far as shows go, just the June 9th show is the only one we have for certain right now. And we may do an in-store record appearance or in-store record store appearance too, the day of the release. We're not sure where yet. That's to be announced.
Awesome. I know Muncie well. I'm going to give you my Muncie impression. I worked the record kid. That's Muncie. And he's a legend. We all know. Anybody who's a New Yorker knows Muncie. Probably like all over the world, they know that guy. Metal Hall of Famer.
He's awesome.
He's in the Metal Hall of Fame for all his work. So yeah, Muncie's great. Yeah, man, it's just really exciting. I'm very pumped for this band. I'm excited I'm excited for people to hear some of the stuff that's not out yet that I've gotten to hear. But yeah, man,
I can't wait.
I like your enthusiasm, and it's really great the energy and the sparkle in your eye when you're talking about this stuff. I could tell how much this means to you and how much you love it. So that's really great to see.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I don't know what's to come, but we're looking really forward to it. So just day by day and step by step,
That's all you can do. That's all we can all do. Austin, back from zero. Thanks for hanging out with Ghost Cult. I really appreciate you, man. And we'll be plugging the record, as they say.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to everything. Thanks again. I appreciate it.